originally gonna be another one of those where I just talk about a job I had, kind of like the warehouse job, but this one about Taco Bell. I moved up in the ranks and ended up working at Taco Bell back in 2018 to about 2020. And it occurred to me as I'm going through this in my head that like 85% of that is just talking about weird customers that I had. And so I'm just going to talk about weird customers that I had. And employees are falling into that category because they're all pretty much the same, basically. Anyone who's going to Taco Bell is probably a drunk or a pothead. So, not me, though. I'm a good Samaritan. I don't do the marijuana leaf. But anyway, so probably the first category of people you get when you start working at these places are the Karens, if that meme is still a thing. And there's a lot of those people. Generally, they're the baby boomer types, but they're not usually that interesting. They just complain about stuff. But occasionally, you'll get a weird one, like a specific genotype. And so, for example, one time, this is back like 2018 or 19 or so, this woman comes in and she's covered, completely covered in Trump stuff. We're talking about Trump again. So again, I'm not really involved in politics. I give no fucks at all. So this woman comes in, she's got like the MAGA hat, she's got a Trump shirt, like this sash, or it might have been her purse strap that's got Trump buttons everywhere. And she places her order and is just doing the normal stuff. And I'm sitting there, kind of got blank time. And being the true genius that I am, I decide to ask, so, who are you voting for in the next election? And I'll tell you what, I don't remember a thing that she said, but I'm never getting that half hour of my life back. So, yeah, but that's like the beginning though. The weird people, they escalate. So after that, I guess another better example is this woman who comes in. There's more than just the women. We'll get there. We're getting to those people, but this woman comes in and she's normal and talking about stuff, and me and one of the coworkers are behind the counter talking. And I don't remember how the topic comes up, but we're talking about religion, and I'm talking about how I'm not Christian, obviously. Like I probably figured that out, but we talked about it, and then she just kind of puts herself in there and goes on this long, unprovoked rant about you're not really worshiping gods, you're worshiping demons and fallen angels and this and etc. and all that. And just goes on and on this whole. We're not even talking to this woman, by the way. She just like invites herself into the conversation. And I know normally you hear these stories and the person is like, they have some smart ass remark that they come back with, like they hit them with a real zinger, show the woman off, make a whole scene, like in the Hallmark movies from the 90s, they make like the music starts playing and all that. Well, that's not what happens. Basically, this woman or just anybody who goes on these rants, they'll do that and then you're just standing there like, yeah, mm, yep, I got paid $8.50 a dollar for this. So unfortunately for her and me, I guess, I was a little bored and I went on break shortly after this, and she's still sitting there at this booth. So when I go on break, I sit next to her, not in the same booth, but like the booth next to that, and she's still kind of going on this whole thing, and so I decide to engage in a debate. I wouldn't call it debate, it's about the intellectual depth is people arguing over Superman versus Batman, kinda, and this isn't exactly scholarly talkings we're having here, but so this person, she decides to bring up, and I always remember this. She says, I think I asked her, well, can you prove that what you're saying is true? And she says, well, can you prove how a microwave works? Yeah, yeah, I can. Unfortunately, we didn't get to that part because one of the other employees comes over and he's like, all right, you know, quit being an idiot over here, quit antagonizing the customers, we don't, we don't need to be getting on YouTube over here. So, which is a good idea. So I ended up not talking to this person. And probably one of probably a Kenneth Copeland fan, I would assume, this person. But so then I guess the next tier up from the weird, like you get past that, and one of the people I remember was a guy who, again, unprompted, like most of the time, you don't engage with these people first. They'll just start talking about whatever happens to be on their demented minds at any given point. And this guy, as I'm cleaning up the lobby, he looks and he starts going on this story. He's like, yeah, did you know about this story? This woman out in the parking lot, she got her throat slit by this person. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't ask, but sure. And then he keeps going though. He's like, yeah, right out there in the parking lot. That's where she got her throat slit. The bitch got her throat slit right there in the parking lot, right over there by that tree over there. And he keeps going. He just keeps on going. He's like, yeah, right over there by your car there. That's where that bitch got her throat slit. She got her throat slit right over there by that other bitch who slit her throat that day. I don't even know if that story is true for the record, but I'm not gonna question him on it. I don't want to make him angry. I don't want to be the next bitch that gets their throat slit in the parking lot. So I just let him go on. And he stayed there for like an hour. And every time I'd go past him, he'd just start in again. Yeah, right out there, right over there. That's where that bitch got her throat slit. Right over there in the parking lot, right there. You can still hear the screams. And he just kept going on and on. But it's not always the customers, though. That's what they don't tell you in the informational videos. They make you watch like 4 fucking hours of informational videos on the cheap computer they have in the office. You get some weird coworkers, and one of them was a guy who must have been a couple, like 2 years younger than me or so, maybe like a senior in high school or something like that at the time. And he's kind of, he gets off like the shy introvert kind of thing. And so I don't pay him much mind. He's working in the back. But one day I walk in the back and he kind of steps out in front of me and holds up this very crumpled looking soft shell taco. And he's like, I just gave this taco AIDS. And then he gives me a look, like he hits me with one of these. And I'm just like, I, oh, I, I don't know how you respond to a thing like that. And so he just kind of like scuttled off. But it doesn't end there though, because this other coworker I had, one of the normal ones, normal for Taco Bell standards, I'll call him Tom. Um, he goes into the bathroom. The weird guy goes into the bathroom, and then Tom goes in a couple minutes later to start cleaning the bathroom. And he knows that this weird guy is in the bathroom stall, and as soon as he goes into the bathroom, he just hears coming out of the bathroom stall. Like he's just going right at it. He's going hard at work in the Taco Bell bathroom, putting those aids in those tacos. Is a I don't know. I never saw him again after that. So I don't know if he got fired or if the SCP Foundation finally caught up with him. I don't know what happened. He's probably skulking around dark alleyways behind other Taco Bells now, waiting to get his hands on some more tacos. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't always end there though, because back to the customers, so there's the drive-through, and the drive-through, that's, like, where most of the weird ones come in, because in the lobby, you have to go into the place and, talk to the person and, who knows what else from there, but the drive-through, you just go pulling up and get your stuff and go. And for example, one guy, not really interesting as much as it is mentally scarring, pulls up and he's like 60 something, completely naked, just butt ass naked in his car. And I made the mistake of seeing that when I go to hand him his change and you look down from the window and you just like naked. And he wasn't being like pervy or creepy or anything. He's just like casually sitting there, like one hand on the steering wheel. He's just like, yeah, it's fine. Just make sure there's extra sauce in there. Completely naked. S- I I don't know. I don't know. Baby boomers, freaking. It's always the baby boomers for some reason. He smoked one too many mushrooms back in the '60s, I guess. But well, another one, for example, I guess this guy wasn't a baby boomer, but he pulls up and we're talking about the order and stuff, and then for some reason he just leans over the side window and he's like, "Yeah, I've got some of the good stuff. If you want to meet me out by my car, I can get you some of the good stuff." I don't know what he was talking about, but he kept insisting that one of us, me or the coworkers, we'd go meet him by his car out there. And so naturally, I'm like, well, mother always said that if a middle-aged stranger at Taco Bell offers to take you into his car, you gotta just. I didn't take him up on the offer though, obviously because I'm still alive and I still have all my organs. So I don't know what he was. I don't know if it was sex or drugs he was trying to offer me, but not finding out at Taco Bell. I'll find out in a dark motel room when I wake up missing a kidney in the bathroom or something like that one day. But yeah, so there's all sorts of customers too. One guy who was kind of a regular, he comes into the lobby. I don't know what his problem was. He was like on a first name basis with some of the employees, but not the others. But one day, my and this kind of sums up my whole experience with this guy. He comes in at like 7 at night and he asks, "Do you guys still have any of the nacho fries?" And I'm like, no, we haven't had those for like 3 months." And he's just like, "Fuck," storms out the window, or not the, he storms out. It's basically a window at that point because the window was broken for like 6 months. And he just drives off. And that's pretty much my whole interaction with the guy. He just comes in and he's just like, not rude, but abrasive in that manner. Really liked the nacho fries, I guess. But they weren't all bad. Usually the old people were pretty good, but definitely the weirdos out there. Usually the potheads, usually the drunks. Occasionally you'll get some normal ones. Occasionally you'll get an elderly couple that gets into a car accident on the highway outside. And so they're sitting there and one of them's got blood coming down his face, but he says he's okay, so he's just going to wait for the cops to get there. So you're just standing there at the front counter watching this guy with blood coming out of his face, and you're just like, all right, sure. And you're trying. So, yeah, that's always some weird ones. And that's just Taco Bell, by the way. I've worked at plenty of customer service places. I've worked at grocery stores. I've worked at dollar store briefly. I've worked at uh what was the other one? Goodwill. So I've got like 6.5 years worth of this crap. But even just Taco Bell, I could make like three more of these just talking about Taco Bell and all the idiots that come in there. So I might do that. But for now,